Nathan from Plotly here. In the last video, we talked about setting up App Studio and styling the application. Now, I'll be talking a bit about how to add interactivity to this application. So we're in the App Studio editor, and before, I have a set of prefixed inputs that I've set. These inform the model that I've set up in my notebook, but it makes it difficult for end users of my application to start editing. So instead of using these prefixed values, instead we can use any dash component to control the inputs to these variables. So I'll set up a ticker selector. Here we have a drop-down component from dash core components where we have all of our tickers as options and we're presetting with a couple of specific values. In order to interact with this, I can just grab the value attribute and use that across my application. So now we don't need this anymore. And if I save, go back and synchronize my project, you'll see that a dropdown has been added. And if I start interacting with this dropdown, it'll actually update the application in line. So already we have some interaction. We're able to inform the model based on a set of input tickers. But there's a couple more attributes that'd be useful to turn into forms. Let's update the sample size, start date, and end date. So I've added in the components to control these attributes. And now we can add in the reactive variables. So our start date value will look at just this value attribute of our drop-down component, end date the same, and we'll use an input component to define the size, making sure that only numbers are going to be allowed in there. So we can actually get rid of this cell entirely, save the notebook, and if we run this again, you can see that these other controls have been added to the layout. So now not only can I control my set of stocks that I'm looking at inside of this analysis, but I can also set other filters like start and end dates, expand the window of the analysis, and I can update my sample size. So now our model's configured, it's ready to go, and we'll want to share it. So I can click on the deploy button at the bottom, define the name for the application, ensure that the title and the link look right, and click create and deploy. And now the application will be sent to Dash Enterprise where I can start sharing it with colleagues and they can run their own analysis on the data set that I have. So rather than a static notebook, now it's suddenly an interactive data application.